And now, from beyond our dimension, this is the JeffMara Podcast. Here's Jeff.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Saturday Night Live Podcast. This is your time to come and share. And it looks like it's going to be a busy night. We've already got 4 people in the meeting room. All right, so if you want to share, it's very simple. All you have to do is go to the description below. Let me fix this here for a second. All right, so all you have to do is go to the description below, and you can click on the link and join me, or you can go to Zoom and you can click join a meeting, and then you enter the room ID and password. Also in the description below is a link to our Facebook page, the JeffMara Facebook page. There's a link to my personal Facebook, whatever you call it, profile. I'm just adding friends until I hit the limit of 5,000. You'll see that my last name is Reynolds. Mara is my beloved. So the podcast is named after her, not his name. What else is there? Links to our other channels, like our music channel and our, what else is there? Cooking channel, which eventually I'm going to get back around to create content for that. And I think there's a Discord, but although I actually the Discord link has been shut down. You have to message me personally for a Discord link, because we've got trolls in there too. Trolls, we're calling people. And I think that's it. I think that's basically it. And let me see, where should I start? Should I jump right into people? I guess I should, and I can give more announcements later. So let's go first here and see what's going on. 4 people here. Now, Patrice, I think, is in France, and I'm going to move him to the front because it's like, I don't know, 3 o'clock in the morning there or whatever. And anyways, before I go to Patrice, I have talked to Tim Tactics. I hope you guys have seen that video, and if you haven't, you should definitely check out that video. Anyways, we're talking about him and potentially Sarah Breskman Cosmo. The video we talked about doing a live meditation. We're trying to get 1,000 people there. So he said if we get 1,000 people, we'll change the reality. So at least 2 to 3 guys will come. I'm going to try to promote it more on the channel. Maybe him and her will promote their peeps as well, so we'll get 1,000 people. Right now it's kind of a tentative thing that we're working on for next Saturday night. And all right, so let's bring Patrice in. And we need to find out who Shyla is. Shyla, if you are here in the chat, please identify yourself, because we've got to like vet people.
Oh. Hello. Oh.
Hello. Patrice.
Trying to find my video. Hello, how are you?
Great. Thanks for asking.
Middle of the night here.
Welcome back. That's why I moved you to the front, because I know you're in Paris. You're in France, right?
Yes, right. It's 1 a.m. here. I just had to set the alarm to wake up.
Oh my gosh, you were asleep and you just got back up?
Well, I'm an early sleeper, so I usually go to sleep very early and I wake up early in the morning. So I cannot stay awake when the night comes. It's just impossible for me. I'm so connected to the light that when the sun goes down, I fall asleep.
Do you meditate, like when you get up early?
No, but I go to take a walk in the woods now. I don't meditate as much as before, but we are lucky to live in the near the forest, so I just walk to the forest. It's right in front of our house. We are very blessed.
What part of France do you live in?
We're in Burgundy, by
Dijon,
if people know Dijon.
It's northern France?
No, it's east.
As you can see, my geography of France is not.
That's fine. We're 3 hours away from Switzerland if you draw a line on the left.
Mm-hmm.
just to give you an idea. If you know geography of Europe a little bit, but
Yeah.
okay, I understand.
I thought Switzerland, isn't it south of you guys, or what is it, southeast?
It's east. It's in the middle of France on the east side.
On the east side. Okay.
By the Alps. We're not too far from the Alps. We're 2 hours
Nice.
away from the French Alps.
Very nice. Snow skiing.
No, I don't ski, but yeah, I could.
It's cool. Well, while you're out, you know what's interesting is we talk about Bigfoot a lot. And
Yes.
Bigfoot only seems to appear in North America. It would be interesting if you guys had Bigfoot sightings in the Alps.
I never heard of this.
You never heard of
Creatures
Bigfoot?
like this. No.
I think in
I've heard of Bigfoot, but not in Europe. I mean, I
Yeah.
haven't heard Bigfoot in Europe, no.
That's a great question. Why isn't Bigfoot in Europe?
That is a good question. That is true.
Well, what do you have to share with us today?
Okay, so I wanted.
We want to keep going from last week, yeah?
Yeah, so for the people who missed last week, after trauma, I could see inside bodies and the disease of people, and then sometimes vomit them, like in the movies, The Green Mile. I would go, wow. So I started to do this more often and actually professionally. And I got people with trauma who were contacting me. I did not realize this would happen. People with grief, or women with rape or abuse, something like this. Even guys who could hear voices in their heads for 49 years. And I did not realize if I asked the question, what's wrong with them, basically, it would take me outside of their body, and I would see like energy. It could be a sphere or a logo or something like this. And we could actually erase this. I don't know how it works. The energy is being removed from their body, so people go through a somatic experience. So sometimes they scream, they shake, they go, oh, and then the next day they say, Patrice, I don't know what you did. I can walk in the streets. I'm not afraid anymore. So this was very wonderful for women. And another woman said, I can read a book in the park. I read a book in the park. I was not in the defensive mode all the time. I was just in the moment in my book. That was amazing. And I don't know how you did this. Same thing happened with a guy. He's done everything. He could hear like 10 voices in his head for all his life since he was a kid. He remembers since he's 1 year old. And he could hear 10 voices. And he tried everything. He went to the mental institution. He tried medicine. He tried all the psychedelics. He tried everything. Nothing worked. This session was incredible. The guy started screaming. And suddenly his mind went blank. And he said, oh my God, what is this? I said, what? What is this? He said, I have no voices. I have no thought. What is this? It's inner peace for the first time in my life. The guy, 49 years old. I was like, I don't know. And then I went to the bathroom and I started to vomit. I had no idea what it was, honestly. And the guy is like,
is it interesting that you take on these people's energy in some way, and then you have to purge that energy via vomit?
Well, that's my job here, apparently. I accept gladly. It's just like 1 minute of discomfort to help people. I'm fine with that. Well, sometimes it's half an hour, I have to tell you. So it's not with matter. People would think, if that happened actually last week with matter for the first time, I'm going to tell this story because this is pretty incredible. It's just sound usually with a texture to it. It's hard to understand, but my throat opened. It's like, wow, there's really something coming out, but there's no matter. So last week, this is what happened. I'm not going to disclose the name of the person, obviously. I had a medical doctor call me, and she said, I don't know what's wrong with me. I have pneumonia all the time. It's been 5 times in like 10 years. She said, I cannot find why I have pneumonia. We started to do the session, and I saw a past life. And I said, I'm sorry, I have to go out. I told my wife, I said, tell this lady I cannot come back immediately. I went outside the garden. I was vomiting, but I was actually vomiting. So I saw the past life. Believe it or not, this is absolutely crazy stuff. The lady was shaking in front of the camera. She was like starting to roll on the floor. Medical doctor, I mean, come on. And I saw the past life. She was responsible for the gas chambers in the Nazi camps. And for me, that makes total sense that she had pneumonia all the time because that's how they kill people with gas. And that is how she has to pay the price in this life. And that was so horrible. I was in tears. I was outside. It's cold here. And I was like, I was crying. And then I started to vomit, but this time for real, where I vomited my guts out. I felt so dirty cleaning this stuff, so I did not have any dirt on me or anything. I had to remove my clothes, take a shower before continuing the session. I felt that dirty energetically. I cannot explain it. I was not an energy specialist 3 years ago. I did not know anything. So I tell my wife, I will be back. I was crying when I came back. And then we'll continue the session with this person. And she fell asleep during the session. And I thought, oh my God, this is the first time this happened. This is cool. I mean, I have a break. I'm paid to watch people sleep. And I thought that was so funny. So I wait because I know something was happening. And she wakes up 10 minutes later and she said, oh my God, something happened. I said, what? She said, angels and Archangel Raphael came in my dream and they said, can we remove your pain? And she said, oh no, it's mine. I don't want to give it away yet. And they said, no, we can remove your pain now. And she said yes. And she woke up and she was all fine and happy and she felt liberated. But the first time that I see clients seeing like archangels or angels, because this is very, very, very rare. And I thought that was incredible, honestly, especially from somebody from the medical sector. And I get more and more. Honestly, I get nurses, doctors. They know it's real. Some don't really know. They just don't talk about it because they would lose their job, obviously. Especially in Europe, it's still taboo. In the US, it's opening more and more, I've noticed. I hear more and more stories about doctors who train into that kind of field and the emotional field, how it affects the health. I think this is going to be the next step in healthcare in the world. And it's going to happen way quicker than what we think, because there's still mysterious cases we cannot solve. And this is thanks to shows like yours. People hear these stories and it opens their minds. We plant seeds, even if they don't believe it now, they know it's potentially possible. So
it would be amazing. Maybe you can ask this doctor if she would come on the show and recount her experience.
I can ask her. Yeah, I will ask her.
To get, like a follow-up, but from the other person, that would be amazing. Did you tell her about what you saw in her past life?
Oh yeah, because when I see it, I know I have to tell people. Sometimes I don't see them. I just see a ribbon attached to the left of the person and it's getting deleted. I know it's a past life. I don't love the story. But when it's very important, because either there is a lesson for them in this life, or it's very, very important, I have to tell them. So they show me the story, but sometimes it's very traumatic because I see people cut in pieces or stuff like this. And when you tell the story to the people, they react. They know it's true. Their skin reacts and they feel a shockwave in their body. It's like your body remembers. Yeah, reincarnation is real. I have no doubt now, honestly. Well, I remember some of my past lives, so I know it's real. But if you haven't experienced it, you say, yeah, but it's bullshit. I would tell that to myself 4 years ago. I would say to myself, I'm crazy.
Oh, you know what?
But
I just realized something that my volume. Were you able to hear me earlier?
Yes, perfect.
Okay. For some reason, I'm saying my volume and no one else can hear me. Let me see if I can adjust this so I can get better. So I forgot from last week. How did you get the ability to do this again?
So I got sued after making a website.
Oh, yeah.
And I risked like 3 years of jail and $300,000 of fine. And that is when I started meditating and I entered into the light. And then I started to see inside people's bodies when they were sick and vomiting their disease sometimes.
All right. Oh, shoot.
And
give me 1 second. Let me fix my camera. Oh, I guess this is kind of neat. People get to see what my rectal room looks like. It's a green screen and I have a couch with a green.
That is a good idea, actually.
Yeah, so that way. But let me see. I have to kind of tilt this way. Go like that. Maybe it picks up. It doesn't know. The camera doesn't know what green screen to get. So yeah, I remember that you had this lawsuit now, and
yeah.
I guess that was too traumatic for you, and then it sent you into this.
Oh my God, that was horrible. I did not want. Yeah, I did not want to live anymore. It was every night I would go to bed and I would say, please don't wake up in the morning. And this is how I awakened, basically. So it was like not an NDE because it's not as spectacular, but it was very, very close to that kind of trauma.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went on to, during a meditation, I was taken on board a starship when I was shown a screen with symbols. So it's not a physical thing. I did not go. It's like I left my body. It was on a soul level. But I know it was full HD, more real than here. I don't know what that was. I don't know what happened. Maybe somebody in the audience has superpowers and they can tell me what I saw and what it did. But
That's
it was
amazing.
really amazing. Yeah, and I've seen during sessions, I've seen beings sometimes like aliens, like people describe Arcturians or other beings that happen. I see them in a hologram in front of me. Once with my eyes open, which was the only time that happened with my eyes open, but that was very incredible because it was really, well, I cannot say in the matter because it was a hologram, but it was really in front of me like this. It's like I reached a higher dimension without any medicinal plant because I don't do. And I was in tears because I didn't know what to say. I was like, wow, this is so beautiful. It's what people describe when they see a higher being, higher dimensional beings. It's a vibration of love, and I had never experienced it before. But that's true. They emit a wave of love. It's like wow. It's indescribable. I cannot even try to make somebody believe this is true because this is so crazy. They would think I'm completely nuts. But people who experience encounter like this, they know it's true.
Did you see the beings? And if so, were they blue?
Yes,
Were they
transparent blue,
tall?
Arcturian. Probably about my size, but no, maybe bigger. And the head was very, very big. But I could not speak. They did not say anything. I was completely frozen, and I had tears running, and I was like, oh, what is this?
You
And
know, let me ask you this. There's so much UFO activity going on right now. Are we on the verge of something big?
I think we are. I believe. I've heard many channelers who talk about 2026, 2027 for disclosure or something like this. But I don't think it's going to be a disclosure on TV like the aliens are here. I think they are contacting everybody one by one. Honestly, this is what I think. And it's not going to go via the big media and stuff. It's going to be upside from the people up. Will be the regular people will be the first ones to be contacted because I think they already tried to contact the governments a long time ago, but the government said, yeah, now we're going to continue our madness and wars and stuff like this. But this is going to shift, I think, in the next 5 years or something very, very big is going to happen and people will unite. I have no doubt.
Right. Well,
I'm ready for this beautiful moment.
You're ready. We're ready for it. We've been ready, right?
Yeah, we've been preparing us. There will be more and more first contacts. I know a lot of people who went on starships. I know a lady who got actually physically abducted. She had cancer, breast cancer. I know this person personally. I know it's true. I've done a reading on her. I know her. I shook her hand. She had breast cancer and she had lumps under her arm. She got abducted by aliens physically. The next day, she had nothing. The same week, she had an appointment at the hospital, and we just classified her case as a miraculous healing. They didn't even ask any questions to how this happened. She didn't say because.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but did you see my video with the woman who lived with an ET, and the ET would heal people?
No, I haven't seen that one. I have to find it.
And he healed her mother who had cancer, and he would not vomit like you would, but the more serious a condition was, the more that it would be like he would be exhausted and he'd have to be in bed for days to recover from healing people.
Oh, well, so I don't get tired. This is something people ask me. I get super energized. I have the over effect. It's like if I do a healing at midnight, I'm not going to sleep. I'm going to, yeah, let's clean the house. I'm so excited because that happened. I did the healing that lasted in the beginning of the night, and I was so excited and had so much energy. But that makes me very, very hungry. I have to eat a lot of grounding food like mushrooms, potatoes. I'm like, wow, I can eat a meal after a session, but I don't get tired. I get super excited. It's
plus you just vomited, so there's nothing left inside. You got to refuel.
There's plenty of space. That's true.
Well, Patrice, before I go, I got 4 people in the waiting room. People want to find out more what you're doing. How do they contact you?
So I have a website. It's nightshiftguy.com. Because I
Okay.
used to dream people condition, so that's why I chose this website name, nightshiftguy.com.
Nightshiftguide.com. All right,
Thank you
Patrice.
so much.
Thank you so much for staying up late with us.
Thank
Don't
you.
be a
I love you,
stranger,
everybody.
and we'll see you again.
See you. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Oh, he's gone. Give him a big round of applause. Okay, we've got Chris Torres here. It's been so let's send. See what Chris is up to. There he is. We're just waiting for his audio to catch up. Sometimes it takes a minute. It's weird. You would think that with Zoom, the audio stream would connect faster than the video stream, but it just is what it is. It's kind of a strange thing. And we'll show him my beautiful sign that Penny made, one of Penny's here. We're waiting for your audio to sync here. I hope you got that. So we have to sync two things, the camera and the audio, and always the camera's there. Maybe the camera is first. Why? I don't know. Turn down the music a little bit. So let's see. Who is, I was gonna give you guys, well, it's probably gonna cut in. I need to look at my schedule and see who's coming up this week. I did today a Reverend Honey Borden, that she had an NDE. She's not only a near-death experiencer, but she's an ET contactee. Chris, you're there?
Yeah.
Hi, Chris.
Can you hear me now? I can hear you.
Well, yeah.
Okay. Well,
what's going on?
I don't
You've been
know.
here before, haven't you?
Yeah, I was here last time.
I like that. Whatever you have behind you, is that a painting?
Oh,
or
yeah.
What is that? That looks
It's
nice.
little.
Did you make that?
No. I found it. I forget what you call it. But so the last time I was here, I gave kind of an introduction to the concept that I've been working on.
Right.
And I kind of wanted to just clarify.
Well, you may have
the
to
process.
revisit for us, because then plus some of the same people may not even be here from last time. So if you can quickly review it.
Yeah. So what it is a way to expand a person's consciousness to a higher awareness, from a singular perspective, a limited kind of perspective, to a more expansive awareness with what's called the infinite mind. So you want to start out slow, because the beginning stage of this meditation, this visual meditation, is what sets the stage for self-discovery and self-mastery later on in the process as you level up. So the beginning stage is a visualization of a simple object, and what you want to do is imagine this object stretching out in a straight line. Now, each copy of the object that you have in the line will be one right after the other for simplicity. Okay, so what you want to do is just do the best you can to see how you feel about this object in this amount of in this straight line. It's meant to stretch your imagination, so that way it can prepare you for higher levels of consciousness, like I was saying. So you start out with one object and you just move on to each object as you go along. And like adding complexity to this would be like you have one straight line of the objects, right? And then the next one would be two straight lines parallel to each other. And you just kind of play around with it, experiment with it. But initially, you have the one straight line, just to see how you feel about this concept of infinity. So one thing that I will say is when I was developing this method, I got to such a high state of awareness that I started feeling that vibration feeling that people talk about when they're shifting consciousness. It was like kind of the proof that I felt like I needed to say, this is something that actually has potential, like, I'm thinking. So, to truly embody those higher perspectives, you have to, expand your awareness, to get a more balanced ego and things like that.
So are you teaching this type of meditation?
I'm planning on working on it. I've only had like my friends and family that I've been able to talk to, and they're only so interested because they have, their lives that they got to work on. But yeah,
Are you gonna like have a class on Zoom, or are you gonna make like YouTube videos of how to do it?
Well, I'm debating on like, well, I plan on just making videos, and posting them online. I was also thinking about going live, on YouTube to do that.
Yeah, that would be great. You could just lead a meditation. I mean, do you think you could verbally lead it?
Yeah, I got a meditation right here that I put together. It's kind of a long meditation, so I don't know if that would be appropriate.
Yeah,
I
probably
had so
wouldn't
many
be
things.
for today. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know. But, it'd probably be best if, if you either, if you made a YouTube video of your meditation, how long would it last?
Not, I mean, I guess it wouldn't be too awful long because, like I said, the beginning stage is the most important,
Right.
like getting people to see how visualizing a simple object stretching out into infinity can expand your conscious imagination, which then will give you new sense of expression, a new way to express yourself as a higher awareness. So, yeah, like I totally believe that this is probably how the rest of the universe, extraterrestrials, higher beings, this is probably how they see reality in aspects of infinity. So this will give you the ability to develop your true potential, because as you meditate on each different object, you expand your imagination and your awareness. You're, finding the path to your true potential as a conscious being. We all see the world as, singular objects, but really, even the smallest object has infinite value, you know.
Have you done any of Joe Dispenza's meditations?
Yeah. Well, he talks about heart and mind coherence.
Mm-hmm.
And he says the analytical mind can't be going in order to harmonize with that coherence that he's talking about. Well, but I would say infinity underlines all aspects of reality. And I've even worked out how to go from third dimension to all the way up to the seventh and eighth density. And so they were saying, I've heard people say that we're going to continue as physical beings to continue to reincarnate into physical reality until, well, we experience infinite amount of physical incarnations until we actually develop that higher consciousness. But I would say the infinite mind is a way for us to directly start practicing that higher consciousness now, instead of reincarnating over and over again, you know.
I had a guest today that I'm trying to pull up my notes on her, that she, during her near-death experience, was shown 844 past lives.
Right. That's a lot of lives to have to go through to learn the hard lesson that we're all connected, and we have limitless potential, and our imagination is limitless. So by seeing our connection to infinity, and we practice, stretching our imagination with infinity, with regular physical objects. That's why this physical reality is so valuable, because while we're here, we have a chance to actually think and process things and, develop our awareness. But I would say once we cross over, we're kind of at the mercy to the level of our consciousness and what the universe decides for us also, and our higher consciousness. It's going to say, well, you're not really seeing the point, you're not really ready, so you're kind of have to reincarnate again.
Maybe I should correct myself. I don't know if she saw all 844, but she became aware of that at least she had 844.
Oh, I've heard of a lot of stories like that where people have experienced multiple past lives, and it's like, I wanted to find a more direct route to, well, I mean, I kind of developed this almost out of nowhere in a sense. I mean, I've always known about the infinite mind, but I didn't think of the connectedness that it has.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a fan of your show before I actually developed this method. And some of the guests that you had on your show really helped me get a sense of what I was developing, and it kind of, I'm a believer in spirituality. I've had 2 astral projections.
Mm-hmm.
So that to me was a proof of our spirit, that we're more than just our body.
Yeah. Well, before I run here, what is the name of your YouTube channel so people can check out your videos?
So the YouTube channel is Infinite Day 369.
All right, Infinite Day 369, and then you may want to put that in the chat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, so thank you so much.
Thank you, Bud, for being here and waiting for me. I really appreciate you, and maybe we'll see you back soon.
Yeah, this really helped me a lot. So yeah.
Awesome. All right, have a great weekend.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, a big round of applause for Chris. And we've got Levin, Lakshmi, and Shira. So let's bring Levin in and see what he's up to. We've got 237 people. So tonight is your night to share. If you've been thinking about sharing, you've been on the fence, well, tonight is your night. I need you to come and tell us your experience.
Hey, brother.
Hey, brother. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. How's your beautiful wife?
Well, she's gone for work. She'll be back soon.
Oh, she had to go to work today, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, bummer. Well, what do you have to share with us today?
Well, I was gonna talk about, animals.
Animals. Are you a vegetarian?
Well, plant-based. I eat plant-based food.
Have you always ate plant-based food?
Oh, I haven't always eaten plant-based.
When
So,
did you become vegetarian?
well, once the awakening journey happened, that's when the heart opens and it starts to feel everything, then your whole life changes. You see everything to be yourself. It's all connected, right? So since that time, I have switched, completely changed. Also healed my body through that.
Let me ask you this: since you're from India,
Hmm.
is it true that most Indians are vegetarian, or is that not true?
Yeah, that's true. Culturally, it was like that. Now it's changing, but it's culture because of you know um because India is an agricultural land, right? So
Right.
farming. So they had animals. So it was like one complete cycle. So animals would help in the farm, you know,
Uh-huh.
get water, plow the field, and all that, and it gives milk to them. So it was sacred to them. So they
Right.
were
I
there.
thought that in India they don't want to eat the cow; they get the milk from the cow, and
Hmm.
that's enough.
Yeah. So I have also asked that question. So I mean, the cow produces milk for the calf, right? So
Hmm.
so there's a lot, like there's a logical reason for that because they say that so the cow produces a lot of milk, and when a calf drinks too much, so it creates a problem in stomach and it's bloated. So after a certain amount, they take the milk. So
Hmm.
that was the logical reason, for that. But yeah.
So, what do you think about reincarnation in animals? Do you think that people reincarnate into animals or vice versa?
Well, there is freedom to do, um, there's always unlimited freedom. There are no judgments when it comes to, in truth. So, I mean, people can choose whatever they want to, but I feel like it must have a certain order, but still, it's up to that soul at that point, I guess, to choose which it wants to. So,
Hmm. All right, let me ask you a question here. People keep telling me in the chat my mic is too low. You're hearing
mhm.
me okay, right?
I can hear you pretty good.
I mean, looks like my settings are pretty close to the same. I don't know. Unfortunately, there's a delay here, so I'll have to wait a minute and see what people are saying, but I keep getting my mics too low, and I don't think I've changed anything.
Hmm. Well, I can hear you
You
really
can hear me
well.
fine. We'll get in a minute here because, like I said, someone said it is.
Hmm.
I hear you fine. Military cows. Maybe we'll get a couple more comments here in a second. I hear. It's interesting. I have one headphone because this I can hear the music, which I can also hear my voice.
Hmm.
The position, you're straight into the side of it. Yeah, because this is a different type of mic. This type of mic. See, someone's saying the volume is too low. Maybe I have to get really close. This type of mic is not the mic where you would point it like this. It's
Hmm.
not that type of mic. This is a condenser mic, so it's like on this side of the mic. It's okay, but just low. Okay, let me just mess with it and turn it up even louder. We'll see. I get half the people saying it's fine and half people saying it's too low. Actually, I can check one other thing here. Let me see real quick. Dot 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 dot. No, that's pretty. Where am I? Why is that not coming back? It seems to be okay, but the guest is a lot louder. Oh, maybe that's the problem. Okay. Say something for me here, Levin.
Hey there, brother.
All right, that's what it is. See, whenever I record, different guests are different. I have to. There's a volume control here, and with the guest I had earlier, I had the volume turned up. Say test 1, 2, 3 again.
Test 1, 2, 3.
Now let me turn it down a little bit more. Okay, one more time.
Test 1, 2, 3.
All right, I think hopefully now we'll be a little more equal. Maybe that'll be better. That's just, like I said, I mean, whenever I have a guest, I've got to sometimes try to even out our volumes when I'm just, you know,
Yeah.
recording. Anyways,
Well,
give me 1 second. Let me close this door.
sure.
All right. So, what else do you want to tell us about animals?
Before that, look at what I've got over here.
Hey, that's awesome. Thank
Cheers,
you.
brother.
Cheers. Mine's in, my alien one's green, and so it comes out like this. And everybody, Levin is going to be the person designing our next mug. So we'll get to see Levin's mug for the next month. Once a month, I want to have a new mug. And so Levin's generously donated a design for us, so we're going to work on that one and have that. We got to get that up and ready for the next month. I don't know how long ago it was. These are old ones, but they, they obviously see JeffMara podcast on them like Levin's, but the one he has his. But we're trying to change it all where you'll just have something interesting that someone creates, and we'll just put a little JM from it, so it won't be like like a podcast mug. It'll be something different.
Nice. Well, I love this design. It has the innocence, the energy of innocence, it's really good.
Well, thank you. Thank you. All right. Well, anything else? Anything else you want to tell us about animals here?
Yeah, let's talk about animals. So, you take the wild animals, right? For example, if we take lion, so a lion, it has, it kills to survive, right? So the lion, once it's finished, once it's eaten its meal, you could see lion or any other animal, it would just sit there. You could see its eyes, and you could see that how peaceful it is and how calm it is. Such a ferocious animal. And the animals also, they follow the universal law. They are in the present moment. And when you take the lion, once it's eaten, and even if a prey goes near it, it wouldn't go and attack it. So the animal is not greedy. So it only takes what it needs. So then we take, like, human beings, the humans love pets, right? Everybody loves pets. Why? Because the pets, mostly pets, the common pets are dogs and cats. So the pets are also, they are in the present moment. They are a fountain of unconditional love. They always give you unconditional love. And when you feel sad, or say when somebody feels low, the animal can feel. The animal totally is connect. Its heart is open. That's why it's can feel you. It'll come and sit next to you. It would calm you. And animals are also used for healing therapies and all that, because they are having this quality of love, unconditional love. So, but we take the conditioned human, say for example, the unconscious human being, the human can only give to another person anything, a good feeling, to gain something out of it, to get something in return. So you see animals, but mostly we see animals to be less than us. So actually, the animals are above the unconscious human, the ego, the ego minded human. So once the human is awakened or become conscious of who our true nature is, then we don't become more than an animal, because we see that we are the same, but we have one extra, which is, so the animals have a boundary. They live in the present, they follow the law, they are in harmony with nature. So now, but us, when we awaken, we become not only responsible for ourselves, but for animals and for our planet. So we are the guardians of this world. So now, So we have to become aware of what we are doing collectively. I wanted to speak to all humanity, right? So to speak to your heart, to your inner spirit, to your soul, you know, to convey this perception. It's not about, judgment. It's not about it's wrong or right, but to see as I saw, as any human, when a perception, is offered, when we see it without trying to justify, when we justify what we're doing, when we reason our how we see it, then we are justifying our action. So, but when we don't do that and just see the perception as it is, what happens is there's no judgment, there's no control. So then there is a freedom to see without judging ourselves, and that uh, when we see that, then there's freedom out of it. There is heart, the heart opens, and the heart is the most powerful source we have in our life. It connects us to the source itself directly. It's also it's the bridge between us and the higher dimension. So now collectively, if we see as human race, what we are doing is um so the meat and dairy industry are a multi-billion-dollar industry. So what we are doing is, so what we sow, we have to reap. That's the law. So if we plant an apple seed, we are gonna get an apple out of it, not an orange, right? So what we do is, as a human race, so this industry, what it does is, it's creating suffering to a being. You see any animal, you look at their eyes, okay? A cat, a dog, any animal, they're all the same. A cow, a chicken, a duck, all. When you look into their eyes, you can see that it's the same being which is seeing, and it always sees to your, it sees into your soul directly. So what we are doing as a collectively is, we are contributing to that industry, and billions of animals are killed for food, right? So once when they're getting killed, they can feel, so suffering is created, right? So what happens is, peace breeds more peace, violence breeds more violence. So when we collectively create such an energy of suffering to all those beings, what happens is that suffering needs to manifest in our world, right? Because that's the law.
Let me
So
ask you this. Let me stop you for a second. Do you think that we are the only beings that eat animals that recognize suffering? Because when you see other animals in the animal kingdom eat others, you can hear the animals screaming and in pain.
they are.
But let's say if a lion eats a whatever, do you think the lion recognizes that that being is suffering?
Oh, the lion doesn't recognize it because it doesn't see it as something separate. It's food, and it is one. That's the level of game the animal has to play.
Right. So would you think then
Oh,
that since we're so much different from every other animal on the planet, because we're the only one that recognizes the suffering, that we're not even really from here?
yeah, that could be. But the thing is, even if we are not from here, so deep down, that wherever we come from, we see that life is all from one ground. Even if we are coming from a different planet, we can recognize that, we are deeply connected to it. But yeah, what you say is also, is one other part of a puzzle, right? It's a big puzzle.
I was thinking
So,
today while I was going to the grocery store, because I think about hunting and eating meat and that stuff quite a bit. And I think, and anybody who here probably knows the scripture can correct me because I'm sure I don't have it right, but I thought somewhere in the Bible it says that man was like given dominion over the animals.
that's one of the reasons that we were.
So there, at that point, at least if it's told you in the Bible that, then you don't feel any guilt about
Yes, of
eating
course.
the animal because it's been, that's what the Bible says. And maybe other religious texts. I'm not just pointing. I just am only aware of the
Exactly.
Bible, but I mean other religious texts may say that as well. But it's something that I think about quite a bit. Is about eating meat, not eating meat, and what is right, what is not right. I mean, for some people, they almost need to eat meat because they're not going to be healthy if they don't.
Yeah, they're always exceptional, but as we dig deep into more information, see, everything is connected. All the information which have been given to us, it's fabricated, it's scripted for specific reasons. You see, so what happens is, so let's go back, okay, to what we are saying. So the suffering has to manifest here in this world, right? Since we're creating it. So then that's why the people who control this reality, so they know dark arts. They have knowledge to do dark magic, right? So they use that, and so then we ask the question, right? So why is suffering in our world? Why is war? Why is so many violence going on in our world? So you see, what they're doing is from childhood they condition us through religion, through education. Main thing that's healthy for us, that it's protein, that's the most important thing. Otherwise, we wouldn't survive. But I mean, you know, the proof is already out all over the internet now that even people who don't eat, they still live. But the thing is, that can't apply to everybody. Of course, there are always going to be exceptional things. So now, the people, what they do is they create wars. So they create, all the conflicts in our world. They use that energy. You see, wherever you go, especially here in this land, you go or you see any ads on TV or anything, there's always the meat stuff. Eat this burger, it's delicious. So it's drawing you in. So we already talked about this, right? So when we see something, immediately we will feel it and we are caught in it. So we can't escape it. So what happens is, it's not a right or wrong thing. So what we have learned from childhood is to control ourselves. So what we say to ourselves is, it's wrong to kill an animal, so I'm not going to eat it. So I'm controlling myself. That itself is a suffering. It's not freedom. So now what happens is, I try to suppress it, then the smell comes to me or I see an ad. So the body is already used to it. So the saliva is going to secrete. So if you're not awake, if you're not aware of your own body, if you are, then you say, oh, my body is secreting saliva because my body is used to it. And you don't judge your body and it stops there. You're aware. Now you have a choice. But when you're not, what happens is you go, you eat, and then you start to blame yourself and judge yourself that I have done something bad. So it puts us in a loop, and it makes us to fall into another trap.
Yep. Well, listen, I've got to run, brother, but what is the name of your YouTube channel again?
Blind our eyes without an open heart.
Blind Our Eyes Without an Open Heart. So if you want to check out more of Levin's content, there you have it. Levin, brother, I got to run. Thank you for coming
All
and
right,
join
bro.
us, and we will talk to you later.
Thank you. You guys take care.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, he's gone. I hope I did it right. Oh, what did I do? It's so technical doing this. I wish there was just a button. Just did this. All right, we got Vicki here. Let's see what Vicki's going to do. Maybe Vicki will be teaching us another yoga pose. Where is Vicki, also known here as Lakshmi. I don't know if Vicki's going to be. Sometimes Vicki, when Vicki is there for a while, oh no, Vicki is here. Now, Vicki.
Yeah.
I checked out your Halloween video.
Yeah.
And that was pretty interesting. It was very artistic, but I wasn't really understanding completely what was going on in that Halloween video.
Yeah, actually, I was actually taking a revenge
You
for
were
my.
you were taking
I was
revenge
taking a revenge on my murder,
on what?
on my murderer,
On your
on my
murderer.
murderer.
What do you mean on your
So
murderer?
that was the murderer of my past life.
Oh. Well, there were some guys there that you who was the guy's picture that you kept showing in your video?
That was one of my friend.
All right. Well, if you guys get a chance, go to Vicki Gold Ganesh, and you can see, what is the title of that Halloween video?
Happy Halloween and her soul in my body. That is the main title.
Her soul in my body. Yeah, it's very artistic, very well done, and it's really interesting. And I enjoyed watching that. Well, what do you?
But that was a was a fictitious, like
a fictitious video, fictitious. Well,
yeah.
What are you dressed as today?
Today I'm dressed in my male costume, just as Hunter falls in love. That is, big cats falls in love. That is the complete theme. But in short, it is Hunter falls in love.
Now, it looks like you've gotten a little skinnier since that video. You were younger then, but you look like you've lost some weight. Would you agree that video?
Because of IBS issue.
Oh, because the IBS.
That's the reason why.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and that time I was not a breatharian completely.
You weren't?
Now, that time I was a normal guy who was eating normal foods.
Had you start having your DNA being compromised or changed by the ETs at that time?
Yeah, it was being compromised since mostly by early stages of my childhood, I think. By early stages of my childhood, yeah. So it's a pre-birth contract mostly to be both a female and male.
Right.
But the IBS part is something which is acquired in the middle.
Right. For those of you that don't know, Vicki had a pre-birth contract with, what was it, the Arcturians or the Pleiadians?
Yeah,
Arcturians, that he is having his DNA modified where he is now having a Z chromosome, which kind of gives him both female and male. Although you haven't had any physical changes, right?
Physical changes in the sense I can be both a female and a male.
Right.
That's what such kind of presentation.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, you may have changed in hormonal levels or anything.
That I don't know. I have not tested for such kind of test because there is no such test which gives you the details whether the alien genes are present in the humans. There is no such test as such, I think.
They might find it as what some people call junk DNA. Because there's DNA in there that I think they don't know what it does.
Junk DNA can also be termed as DNA which are redundant from the primitive human beings to presently what we have evolved into. That can also be attributed into junk DNA. So, but this is something which is progression. The aliens are inducing some DNAs into human for evolution, as a part of evolution.
Do you think the ETs want us all to become, non-binary or?
Yeah, actually that non-binary is a part of evolution because it helps us to realize our potential instead of limiting ourselves to one particular sex. We get a chance in the same lifetime to experience the opposite and also the dual, both as in my case, I'm having a chance to experience both the male and as well as the female part of myself.
Well, at least
so it's like living 2 lifetime in the same
I was going to say, at
life.
least you don't have to wait to reincarnate if you want to come back as the opposite sex. You can do both at the
Yeah.
same time.
That is the advantage.
Mm.
And also it helps us to become more empathic towards the other gender.
Right. Right. Well, you know, if you guys haven't seen it, Vicki is really flexible, very strong. For the last couple of weeks, what do you want your pronouns as? He, she?
They,
You
anything
go
is
by
fine for
they?
me. Yeah, they is also fine. He,
Okay.
she is also fine for me.
Oh, okay. Doesn't matter to you. You're flexible on that. All right. Well, you have been, for the last 2 weeks, giving us some poses. Do you have a pose for us this week? A yoga
Yeah,
pose.
today I have a pose called Vishwamitrasan.
Vishwamitrasan?
Yeah,
What does
it
that
is being named.
translate to?
It is being named after sage Vishwamitra.
That's a sage bush?
Yeah, it is this pose is being named after the sage Vishwamitra. So he was a very arrogant and as well as very learned sage. He was very knowledgeable person, but at the same time, he was very outrageous.
Mm-hmm.
He used to react too fast. So that was the drawback.
Would you consider him a guru or a yogi?
Who Vishwamitra is it?
Yeah.
No, he was a saint. He was a saint during the ancient times.
Interesting. All right. So what is this pose called again?
Vishwamitrasan.
So it's just named after him.
Yeah.
All right. What does this do for your chakras?
It actually strengthens the hand chakra. Hands.
The hand chakra. Did you watch
Palms, shoulders.
by the way, did you watch the video that I did with Yogini Rome?
Yeah, I watched it. I watched. She's in good. She's in good.
Yeah, she said that there were like, I can't remember, there were like 400 or I don't remember how many chakras she said. Did you remember that? There's much more than 7. There was like in the hundreds.
Some 499 or something.
400s, yeah. Well, you're saying that there's chakras in the arms and hands, right?
But those are all mini chakras. Major chakras are 7.
Okay, mini chakras.
Mini chakras are not. And then we have intermediate, which are there in the knees and elbows and also on the foot, underneath the foot. So center of the foot. That is where our karma is connected to. All our karmic imprints are collected in this region. Here there is a chakra. So this chakra collects all our karmic imprints, and it is related to planet Saturn.
Planet Saturn. All right.
All
right. Well, I keep stopping you. Let's check out the yoga pose.
Yeah. Able to see?
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
How long are you supposed to hold that position for?
Around 30 seconds or 40. How much ever you can.
As long as you can.
Yeah. And you got to do in the opposite side as well.
Let's first almost you've got to do this stretch and then pick your leg up and put it behind your head.
This is not putting the leg exactly behind.
Imagine if you could lift your left foot off the ground and you're just up balanced on your hand. That would be probably extremely hard. Well, do you have any thank you for showing us that, Vicki. Do you have any new information to share with us this week?
Yeah, information in the sense, yeah, I had lots of dreams about Tsar Nicholas 2 days before.
Hmm. Oh, wow.
So
Are they
I keep
dreams or
getting,
memories?
actually, he actually makes a visitation. It's like a sort of visitation.
Wow, that's
It doesn't
cool.
even look like a dream. It looks like a
A
visitation.
visitation. And for those of you that are new here, Vicki in a past life was the son of Tsar Nicholas. Alexei.
Yeah, Alexei Romanov. Yeah.
All right, were you going to dance for us today?
Yeah.
All right, let me get some music ready. Oh, are you going to do juggling?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Cool. All right. All right, great job, Vicki. Great job. I didn't realize that you could juggle too.
Yeah, I juggle and I also do hula hoop.
That's awesome. All right, brother. Well, listen, I got to run to the next person, but thank you for coming and joining us. If you want to check out Vicki's videos, go to his channel, Vicki Gold Ganesh, right?
Yeah.
And who is this you got with you today? Is this you in a past life?
No. It's just make a fictitious.
A fictitious woman?
Yeah.
And she looks beautiful. Great job with her.
Yeah.
All right, brother. We'll see you later. Have a great weekend.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And another big round of applause for Vicki. All right, let's bring in Shira and see what she's up to. Let's see. I wonder if she has some new UFO footage because she was. Oh, you know what I think we're going to talk about? I think we're going to talk about Torah codes, right? We talking about
Torah? Me?
Yeah. Were we going to talk about Bible codes, Torah codes?
Yeah. And I just heard you saying you were going to the store thinking, we have dominion over animals, but after the flood, is my audio okay?
Yeah.
Because I'm wearing these things. Okay.
Right.
After the flood, God told Noah that we could eat animals.
Okay.
So it was a whole different, and there were 2 by 2 of non-kosher animals.
Mm-hmm.
But God had Noah, if you read the next chapter, God had Noah put 4 or 6 mates of kosher animals, because those that had to be sacrificed, if we did that, then those animals would have been annihilated off the earth real quick. So it's not just in one chapter, but anyway. So yay, Vicki, and Vicki gave Stephen a run for his money doing the juggling and the twirly on his foot. That was pretty cool.
Did you see he's amazingly flexible
Yeah.
and strong when he does his.
Oh my gosh! What?
I don't know if you were here when he did a couple weeks ago. I can't remember. I think
Yeah.
it was the scorpion pose.
I'm here every Saturday night.
It was amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, tell us about the Torah codes.
Okay, well, it's called the Torah codes,
I
or
guess
it's
if
called
you,
the Bible codes.
yeah, the Bible codes. I mean, Bible codes are big. A lot of people are really into the Bible codes.
It's just gigantic, and if you're not into it, I would highly recommend looking it up. And if you want to get pen and paper out, because there may be some things that I talk about that you want to do a deep dive on, and so that's all good. First of all, when Moses got the Torah on Mount Sinai, he went up twice. The Torah is 304,805 characters, and it's one long continuous sentence. There are no vowels.
Can I stop you for 1 second? I just want to pick your brain for one moment. I am so sorry. But you know, we have so many different types of guests on here, and you just it just made me think of it that you said Moses was, you know, on Mount Sinai and got the commandments,
the Torah,
right? Do you, and either way, there's no right or wrong answer. I'm just curious because I want to, you know, we have all different types of audience members. Some people would say that the burning bush is an ET.
Okay.
Is that real for you, or was that more, or you stand more scripturally?
The Torah, let me back up. The Torah is the first 5 books of the Christian and Jewish Bible.
Right.
I remember it as Jelen D. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. And it's in the Christian Bible and it's the Jewish Bible.
Mm-hmm.
And the Jewish Old Testament is called the Tanakh. And that is Tanak. And that is Torah. And you drop the A because we just threw some vowels in there so you could say it in English. T-A, Torah, A. N, Nevi'im, which is the prophets, and A, and then K, Ketuvim, is the prophets. So you got the prophets and the scriptures and the Torah. Okay, so that's Tanakh is an acronym for the Torah, the Nevi'im, and the Ketuvim, which is the Torah, first 5 books, the Nevi'im, the scriptures, and K is the prophets. Or maybe I got the K in backwards, but anyway, that's what it means. Okay, so so there's no breaks, there's no vowels, there's no punctuation. It's like the Torah was written, the first 5 books were written without any Marby. Okay, we'll do that later. My doggies. So there were no vowels and there were no punctuations. And so scientists and rabbis, the CIA, all got together. Are you there? I saw a picture of you.
I'm here.
Okay.
I was just giving you the. Oh. I was giving you full screen since you were, you know, teaching us. So I just let you go full screen.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. I just want to make sure we were all connected. Okay. So, so the scientists, CIA, rabbis, scribes all got together. One thing to remember about the first 5 books of the Bible is that when Moses came down, he gave it to the elders to copy. And so it was elders and then the next generation of elders, the next generation of elders. Any scribe who copied down the Torah if they made one mistake, even on the last letter, that whole Torah that they wrote had to be buried and can never be used again. So there are no versions of the Hebrew Torah or Tanakh. There's no versions. There's only one. And we gathered, and that was 3,300 years ago. We gathered all of the Torahs from around the world 100 years ago to see and make sure that everybody was on the same page. Every Torah was exactly the same, except Yemen had 6 differences, and they were punctuation differences. It changed the way the word was said, but it was not changing the meaning of the word. So there are no versions of the Hebrew Torah for 3,300 years ago. Okay. So all of these scientists, CIA, rabbis got together and they took a look at what are the Bible codes. Greg Braden has a wonderful 1-hour talk, and I think he even did 6 different on the series. But what are the Bible codes? That would be paramount for anyone to watch. And so what the Torah codes are, as I learned, are equal mathematical skip, EMS. Now, Greg Braden and some others call it equal letter skip. Same woman, different dress. Okay. So what you do is you start out in the at the beginning, and you may be doing every 50th letter. Okay. You go, keep going, keep going, keep going. And it will bring out codes. And what are the codes? They are all of the blueprint of creation. It is every major and minor event that has happened on our planet. We can go back to Adam and Eve, Cain and Abel. We could go to, we could fast forward to Spanish Inquisition, World War I, World War II, Vietnam, Katrina, the recent Hawaiian fires, every major and minor event, even everyone's name and their birth year are in the Torah.
Let me stop you for one moment here. Now, are you saying
Okay.
that they took the Bible, the Torah, and they said every 50th letter?
Oh, well, it could be every 3rd letter. It could be every 126th letter. Equal mathematical skip of letters.
Oh, okay. So they could do every 8th letter and then write it out and see what it says, or every 21st letter. Every time they did this mathematical interval, the same one over and over and over again, you always got something. It wasn't just gibberish. It actually said something.
No, it was Katrina, New Orleans, Superdome, mass deaths, the year. And the interesting thing is, I'll show you a few examples because there's way too many to show you. You yourself, if you're interested, you'll have to do a dive on it.
Now, which
But
book
all of this stuff
is, sorry, but is there a certain book that you start with, or do you start with Genesis?
Well, you yourself, and there have been rabbis before computers came along, will go mad trying to figure these codes out. And there have been rabbis that have gone mad. But now that we have computers, we can put in, and you have to know the question. So, we couldn't have said, when will be the Hawaiian fires? We couldn't ask the right question until the event happened. And when we did, and we put it in the computer, there's even apps you can do on your phone or your computer, Torah code apps that will help you along. Rabbi Glazerson, and he's hard to understand, so you have to do captions. He tells us every week what we found in the Bible codes of events going on. And when you ask the right question, the codes and the numbers appear. And the codes can go up and down, right and left, diagonal. Remember when you did that find the word search, you know, and it could go up and down and backwards and forwards, but they're all connected. The main codes are connected. You'll find a word or two on the same page. So you don't find a word in Genesis and a word in Exodus and a word in Deuteronomy. When the codes appear, they appear all on the same page. And going back to Katrina, Superdome, New Orleans, mass deaths, it was all on the page that was talking about Noah's flood.
What about, can you just ask the question, what's going to happen in 2024 for the future, and then run codes and see if something will come up?
That's real broad. That's real broad. And I'm not a code searcher. I would invite you can go on YouTube and do a deep dive understanding about how the questions are asked, what questions are asked, and more about how it comes about.
Well, what apps do you use to run the codes?
I don't. That's way above my pay grade. And I study 2 to 6, and at the time I was studying 10 hours a day of Tanakh and sacred texts. And so even with all of my learning, I've just barely scratched the surface of what's to be understood. I do watch Rabbi Glazerson and listen to what codes that those people who are above my pay grade have learned. The Hawaii fires, it said fires, death, and in there it said electrical fire. And 2 weeks later, before the fire department found out that the Hawaii's fire started with an electrical fire, it was in the Torah codes already. Princess Diana, you got World War I, World War II, JFK, and we can do a screenshot, and I can show you a few of the examples.
Okay.
I'm trying to condense hours of understanding into just a few minutes. So I hope that I understand how to do this now. Okay, start now. Your video is paused.
Screenshot.
Okay, all right. So I did. Oh, okay. So you were asking me in my interview with you about Ezekiel, the wheels within wheels, and was that a UFO?
Right.
It was not. It was a celestial being. No. And the angels were the cherubim, and the cherubim they're not angelic little babies. They have 4 faces: ox, cow, human, and lion. And the wheels within wheels have eyes. And at the top where you see a yellow, that was like a throne where an image of God appeared. But it was not and this is another good drawing rendering I saved for you, to see that the angels were at all 4 corners and the wheels within wheels. It wasn't a UFO. It was angelic. Okay, as you saw before, I caught a UFO on tape. Okay.
Good.
All right. So here is the Twin Towers, and this is it's in Hebrew. And when you you do the codes, you can see in the red is Twin Towers, then airplane, terror, Shaheed, martyr, twofold, strikes, will collapse, will burn. And that is the page. And you can see by the different colors on the right as to where those words are. And they go up, down, right, left, intersect, backwards, forward, and they'll make the Torah codes.
So, so did someone just turn to one random page and say what happened in 2001, and then the computer kind of, went through it and came up with all those words?
A very specific question. The question could have been 9/11. It could have been Twin Towers. As to what you keep asking me, and I can't explain to you because I'm not knowledgeable as to how to ask the right questions, but there is some rhyme or reason as to writing. We could say, when is the Messiah coming? And to us, that would be very specific. When we ask that type of question, it says that those answers are sealed till the end of times. But if you want to get the exact day and date, it's in there, but we don't know yet the exact right questions to ask. Okay, this was okay. Oh, I can't. Okay, all right. There. Okay. So if you start with the BIBLMCOCD Bible code. Oh, okay. What we're talking about? The right, in the bottom left-hand corner. BIBLE, and then in the blue is CODE. Okay, and then that's another
So are
one.
each one of these points, like when you said Bible there, are they exactly so many letter numbers apart? Like the E is,
yes.
We have the E and the L.
Whatever the number is, yes.
Whatever that
Yes.
E is, then it's E again, then it's again and again and again. Same thing.
Yes. Yes. It's an equal mathematical skip. It's a scientific fact. That's why scientists, CIA, and the rabbis got together to take a look at this. And the Bible codes are 0.00000004% that it is not fake. Oh, their Bible codes are not written in any other book. They looked at Moby Dick. They looked at War and Peace. We're talking about gigantic books. And they started running the Bible codes in those books.
I didn't realize that the first books of the Bible or the Torah were written without punctuation.
Yeah.
They're just run-on letters. I mean, couldn't there
Right.
be mistakes if you don't know where to put your punctuation?
There could, but Moses knew what it was saying and shared that with the first assembly.
Now,
So
I thought that Moses just got the 10 Commandments from the burning bush.
he was up there for 40 days, came down, threw down on Mount Sinai all that he was given, and went back up there. He didn't spend 80 days to get 10 Commandments. He got all of the Torah, including his death.
Oh.
Now, if you start studying the Torah, he was really confused how to build the menorah in the temple. Some reason that just kind of like blew his mind. And in the Torah, it talks about, Moses said, how do we build the menorah? And God said, do it like I showed you in the mountain. And from there, you can do a deep dive. And if you want to write down the app, free app, Sefaria, Sefaria, you can click on any verse in the Torah or Tanakh, and you can get the backstory, the Jewish sacred text understanding. Much of it is in English, some of it is in Hebrew. Now, if you go to that Ezekiel, which I'll try to do a deep dive for you, there's some very Kabbalah type uh, uh, information that could be harmful. I can tell you how to see every spirit around you, every evil, good, ghost, animal, UFO, alien. I can tell you how to see every spirit around you. We had 6 rabbis that did it. Mm. 3 of them died, 2 of them went insane, and Rabbi Akiva was the only one that walked out of the experience mentally safe. So it has to do with an animal and their what do you call it when I'm a woman, I should know this, when you have a baby, the placenta. Mm-hmm. And so it's a certain animal, it has to do with that placenta, and I can't go further because there are some stupid people that will try it, and you will see every spirit around you for the rest of your life.
Wow.
Okay.
All right,
So
Shira,
anyway,
I'm sorry.
yeah,
I'm
so,
going to have to stop you because I've got 30
okay.
minutes left and I've got
Okay.
3
All right.
people waiting on you. But
And
maybe
so,
you can come back next week and we can go over more of these pictures together.
yes, here's just one real quick. Towers, twin murders, attack, thousands, bin Laden. And then there is Princess Diana. In here, there's Lincoln. There's Princess Diana. Here it is with Dodie. I'm trying to get to the English versions. Okay. All right. So there are, if you want to do a deep dive, go to Rabbi Glazerson. Go to trying to get back to you. Go to oh no, wrong. Okay.
I
Oh,
thought
there
you were
I
trying
am.
to get, there you are.
I was trying to get back to you. Okay, so go do a deep dive on the Bible codes. Watch Greg Braden. It's an hour, and he's got others. Rabbi Glazerson. He's got more videos, and there is no way the Torah is out of date. One, because it's got every current event, and 2, it had to be written by our Creator. There's no way that anyone could write every major event into the Torah, and we find them weekly all the time. You just have to be blind not to understand, knowing about the Torah codes, how relevant the Old Testament is. Okay, love you. See you later. Bye.
All right, love you too. Thanks for sharing with us. Uh-oh.
Sorry.
Have a great weekend.
I love y'all. Bye.
Love you too. All right, a big round of applause for Shara. I think I saw Kama in the chat before. Kama, if you were there, I thought I saw this person in the chat. We have to vet everybody the best we can. And so I'll wait a second to see if this person we'll turn down the music, we'll pop in and we can see who that is. But I thought I saw this person earlier put something in the chat. We'll check real quick. I don't know if we should risk or not. I wish I could click on the name here and then find them in YouTube, but it's not connected to YouTube in that way. What I may do go to Michael, and then hopefully she will see this, and then we will be able to catch her. Let me just kind of give you guys real quick too what's coming up this week. Oh, there she is. Kama. Oh, I don't know if it's a she. I don't know why I said that. To channel. Let's see if I can find out more about this channel. Hope it doesn't have any content. Should we do? Should we take a risk? Do you have a Facebook? In Zoom. Maybe in Zoom. On Zoom. Yeah, do you have a Facebook page, comma? You didn't see on Facebook. Yeah, that's the person's here. Oh, well, anyways, while she's, or he, maybe they'll put their Facebook or something so we'll know it's a real. She said I'm here. I'm all private, this person. I don't know why I keep saying she. This person says I'm all private. I don't know. What I wanted to tell everybody real quickly is this week coming up. NDE in Australia is on Monday. Another NDE on Tuesday. I have to record another one on Wednesday. Thursday. Wow, this is a big. And Friday. Wow, this is 5 NDEs in a row. Oh, maybe this person did. I will take a risk. Hopefully we won't pay for this risk. Uh-oh, let me do this and turn off screen share, so that's good. See who it is. Yeah, well, the person's in the room. I said, when I click on this, it says ask to start video. Jeff is protecting our eyes. Okay, this person doesn't have sound yet. It's in the dark. That's a little scary for me. Someone's in the dark. And we don't have. Looks like a girl. But the sound hasn't hooked up yet. So maybe we gotta tell this person. We're waiting for this to happen. Waiting for audio to sync. So this happened with the first guest today, I believe. But what happens is sometimes, well, yeah, I guess. Oh, here it goes. Karma. Almost like karma.
Oh.
Hello.
Hi, can you hear me?
We can. Welcome.
Hi, Jeff. How's everything going?
It's been going great. It's been a busy night.
I'm so happy to connect with you.
Well, we're happy to have you. Where are you from?
I am from Massachusetts.
Nice. All right, great. Well, what do you have to share? People write to me all the time, and sometimes I say, well, why don't you come on the show? I think it's a better fit. Were you one of those people?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I think I was in the past.
All right.
Yes, I was. Yeah, I had an NDE a long time ago.
All right. Well, was that what you wanted to share with us?
No, I have other things.
All right. Well, what did you want to talk about?
Well, there's a couple things. So the first thing I would like to share was a couple years ago, I was on vacation and I was with my friends and everything, and it was called, do you remember when we had the big red blood moon like 2 years ago?
Kind of.
Hold on, I need to
It's kind of vague for me.
turn it down, turn it down. So yeah, so 2 years ago we had something called this big blood moon. It was a full moon, but it was red. And so that same night we were all on the beach, and within an hour before the moon was set in the sky, super big and red, the Elon Musk Starlink went by, and everyone on the beach was like, "Whoa, there goes the Starlink." And me being myself, watching, the 12, whatever it was, follow each other, I saw one wander off. And my husband actually was like probably like 50 feet away from me. And we talked about it after. He said he also saw one wander off as well. So, we kind of connected about that after. But so we saw the big red moon. My friends saw it and everything. And then the clouds went over this big red moon for about 12 minutes. I have the pictures, I have the video and everything. And then all of a sudden when the clouds moved away from the moon, moved away, and then the moon was white. And even when my friends had to come up to me, she was like, "Hey, am I going crazy? The moon was just red." And I'm like, "No, you're not going crazy. It's like I have it on video, I have pictures, I have the time stamp and everything." And I'm on a beach full of people, and I'm not as busy during the day, but it was pretty busy, and no one just seemed to care to ask or to mention anything.
So did everybody on the beach see it?
No, just my close friend. She came up to me, she says, "Hey, am I going crazy? The moon was just red, right?" I'm like, "Yes, it was."
Hmm. What does that mean to you that happened?
I don't know, for the moon to be red 1 second and then like 10 minutes later be white after the clouds kind of pass by it, I think that's absolutely mind-blowing to me. And I have the pictures with the timestamps on it,
Hmm.
and that's weird.
I don't know. It's interesting that you mentioned that. I don't know a lot about all the moon, the lunar stuff. I'm not negating you. I mean, to just change instantly seems pretty odd. I don't know if it would stay at red for a few hours and then slowly turn white or what, but to go just all of a sudden seems pretty odd.
Yeah, it was. I think it was around like a 10 to I would say 10 to the most 15 minutes with these little clouds cover the entire moon, and then once it went by, it was totally white. And my husband, he couldn't. He was like, "I don't." He doesn't know how to explain it. I don't. And my best friend saw it as well, and I feel like it's pretty unexplainable.
Well, you did say that you saw some sort of light. You thought it was one of Elon Musk's satellites that wandered off, right?
Yeah, so we saw the whole line of the satellites growing, and me just, being who I am, I'm always looking in the sky and like, whoa, and everyone's like, "Yeah, that's the Elon Musk thing." All the strangers on the beach, and this is at nighttime. And, I have a wandering eye. So I noticed in the difference, one went is the opposite way. And then like 10 minutes later, I went to talk to my husband, who was kind of like on the deck, by the pool. He goes, "Yeah, I saw the same thing too as well."
Now, some people believe that the moon is not what we think it is. Something mechanical, something artificial. Are you under that belief?
Well, I don't know what to say about that. I mean, I did see it change an entire color. I feel like that's pretty weird.
Do you think that the other people on the beach weren't paying attention, or they just didn't have the ability
I
to see
like
it?
I feel like 99% of people aren't paying attention. I don't know. Maybe they don't care. I don't know. Maybe they'll be like, oh, it's the gases, whatever. Some sort of explanation for everything. I don't know.
Hmm. All right. Well, what other supernatural experiences have you had?
Oh, I had a lot, but I'll tell you another one that me and my husband went through. So during the summer, the early summer, we were laying down in our trampoline in our backyard at nighttime, just hanging out. The kids are asleep. And so I don't know if you've ever done this. If you ever like took a video of a star on your iPhone and then you take that video and you zoom in and you can see it changing these beautiful colors and shapes like every second. It's really beautiful. So me and him were both laying down on my trampoline and it was really amazing. This really low, slow moving star, not really low, but probably is like a little bit taller than the trees. And it was just slow moving and it just went by us. And I have a video of it too. And like, it was unbelievable. And then we can finally see it like go through our yard and like kind of go past the trees. And that's how low it was. And then I zoomed in on it and I can see it was like a gases, like how a star changes shape like every second, whatever. And it was really beautiful.
Kind of sounds like like a ship to me. I don't know how long you've been watching our content, but I mean, some of the people who take videos of UFOs, they appear to keep changing shapes like that.
Well, I didn't know what to think about it. I just know when I zoom in on stars and it looked exactly like a star. I mean, there can be all sorts of cool names and stuff, but you know how some people see like, a UFO or a gray flying disc. This one I feel like was more kind of upbeat and magical and just not to downplay anyone's experiences, but this just felt like and seemed different to me.
You said earlier you had an NDE, and we don't have to go through the whole NDE, but I'm just curious, during that experience, were you outside of your body?
Yes.
And you had like, well, I guess, technically you were looking down and seeing your body laying on the ground or something?
Well, so this is what happened when I was 4 years old. And when I was 4 years old, I drowned.
Mm-hmm.
And my father committed suicide 2 years prior. So when I was 2 years old, he committed suicide. So I had no memories of him whatsoever, and I still don't to this day.
Wow.
But the only memory of him that I had is when I was dead and I was with him. I had felt no pain. I don't remember the pain of drowning. And I remember, so when the sunshine hits like the ocean water or a lake, it sparkles everywhere.
Right.
It was like that times 1,000. And it was really beautiful. And I remember like I kind of had a body. I was kind of like floating through it. Like my legs were the same length, like where I'm leveled out, like this, kind of swimming through sparkles, just a little bit. It's hard to explain. And all I can see was that along with my father's head. And I said, Daddy, I want to come with you. He said, no, you can't come with me. And he wasn't looking at me like with a smile on his face or anything. It was kind of like I didn't belong there, to tell you the truth. I know everyone tells you, well, not everyone, but some people, they tell you like they're so welcoming and with smiles. It was kind of like I didn't belong there type thing. But the love was in a crazy amount. It was peaceful, so peaceful. He was at peace. I was at peace. It was pure magic, but it wasn't like, come on, daughter, let's go. It was like, nope, you have to go back.
Right. Well, I mean, perhaps it wasn't your time and he you know, he didn't want to get you, you know, too interested in staying. He knew that you needed to go back, so he wasn't welcoming. Makes sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it wasn't welcoming. It was just when you go through something like that, you have an automatic, like, you know, like, there's so many things that you go through, like certain dreams of, you automatically know these things. And it wasn't like he wasn't welcoming. It was just like, like, I don't know. It's just, it's hard to explain. It's,
You
he was,
probably wanted some type of relationship or an embrace, some love, at least a happy experience with him before returning, right?
of course. And when I woke up from my hospital bed, I told my mom about it, and everyone else in the family. And, you know, I was 4 years old at the time, and I still have that memory to this day. And that's the only memory I have of them. And,
That's amazing.
you know,
Did you get any gifts from the Cindy E?
you know, I would say that I don't know, like, I don't know what I want to call a gift. Yeah, I feel like we all have gifts.
Well, I mean, did you have any new abilities that you didn't have prior that could be considered psychic?
Yeah, I feel like, you know, I feel like we all have these psychic abilities, and I feel like however you're tuned into them, or, you know, some people say if you have a near-death experience, something kind of turns on inside you. But I wouldn't say like it was full-blown type stuff. But yeah, definitely I do have these like spot on type experiences.
I mean, a lot of my near-death experiencers, it's pretty common for them to have some type of change, and I think it fundamentally changes people somehow, energetically or something, where they get, as you're saying it, we all have the abilities, but theirs turn back on.
Well, you know, I was so young at the time, and I feel like I was such a free like spirit when I was young. I was like a tornado, just always doing something. And I really had to kind of tune into myself and, yeah, kind of to unlock that stuff. I feel like I had to slow myself down and becoming older and just kind of learn about myself and tone it down to really tune into that part of me.
Wow. That's pretty amazing. I mean, you've had an amazing experience. I know you had it young. Have you ever had any hypnosis or anything to go back and explore that?
No, I've never done that, no.
It's okay. It's pretty amazing. Well, Kama, I'm getting close to my end time, and I still got 4 people in the waiting room, so I have to cut it short. But thank you so much for coming and sharing with us. We appreciate you, and have a great rest of your weekend.
Thank you so much. You too. I appreciate it. Bye.
All right, bye-bye. And a big round of applause for Kama. And that was nice that she shared her NDE with us. Let's bring in Michael. And he's almost here. Well, I think he was here. Can you hear me, Michael?
Yeah, just now.
Hi, Michael. What's going on today?
Hey, good evening, Jeff.
Good evening.
Good to see you.
Likewise.
Good to be with you all.
Right. What is in the
quite
wild?
a show tonight.
Yes. What is in the wild world of dreams?
So actually, I wanted to quickly, and I'll go quick. I don't know how you ended up with 4 more people. I just heard you say that. But okay, so one thing I want to do in a way is I want to promote your channel, right?
Thank you.
In the sense like, and also the Discord. Like this week, in the past week, I had felt like some anxiety in, in life, as it is apt to happen these days, right? With everything that's happening. And I let my mind go there a little bit. And as my mind went there, one of the things that my spirit said to me, because I am a born again being, my spirit said to me is like, it said go and get back into the habit of consuming NDE testimonies, hearing them, listening to them, talking about them, sharing them, right? Going to the deepest ones where the person's looking you in the face and testifying and telling you what they remember. So I'm bringing all that up and speechifying about it because I believe that for all of us, it's a great source of strength. It's a source of inspiration. It's a source of reminding us. So I know sometimes people get a little spicy. I was watching you all this week, Jeff, and I was like seeing like how the comments, sometimes the comment sections were getting spicy, but that we are getting the opportunity to get this collections of testimony that we can reflect on. And yeah, a lot of people like NDEs, me too, although, all right, I am the dream detective, but I just wanted to kind of bring that up. Like sometimes it's an untapped resource. If we're feeling bad, thinking about the heavenlies and the reality of it begins to change how we're thinking about things.
Right.
So that's part,
I'd like to comment on that. I think interesting that you say that because, I post more NDEs than any other channel, probably brought more NDE videos than any other channel, and I have over 500 there. And a lot of my videos are also challenging for people's belief systems. That we approach subjects that are challenging for people, and I understand that. But at least I still keep mixing in NDE. So if you find something that's challenging, usually the next day or two, it'll go back to an NDE, which will kind of center you and kind of like what you're saying, it'll kind of bring you back to a place of strength. And
I think we have to appreciate that variety, like really, really, really. I know sometimes it's hard. It's hard for me, occasionally. Actually, I'm pretty good, but, it can be challenging. But really, if everything was the same, it would be boring.
Right. And honestly, I love what I do. And you have to do the volume of videos I do every single day for years now. Yeah. Well, at least a couple years every single day, but we're in my 3rd year of doing this. But you have to, you have to bring up all kinds of content to keep you inspired and talk to, all the different guests with different opinions and different life stories. So that makes it inspiring for me and bring up new ideas. And sometimes the same idea will come across 3 or 4 guests, and it'll finally take me the 4th or 5th time where I finally understand. I finally get it. Like even I have a breakthrough finally. What is that?
Like an Archimedes moment.
Yeah.
But no, Jeff, actually, thank you for sharing that. That's really deep. I do when I leave here, and I step out and I examine my body to see how I lived and get some lessons. I definitely want to look at what Jeff is doing, because you're going to have a fascinating testimony after all the spiritual adventures, that you've gotten to listen to and to learn from.
Yeah. I mean, I've probably said it more than once, but even for me, this has become my own spiritual journey.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's a beautiful one, brother. It really, really is.
It really is. Yeah. And it's, well, there was something, I really loved it this week. I think it was this week. It was either this week or last week. And I thought this one statement was fascinating for me. Was Sarah Breskman Cosmo. I don't know if you watched that one with Sarah, that she is a hypnotherapist when she works with Dolores Cannon's daughter, Julia Cannon. Did you see that one?
Was she the one wearing the sari?
No, that was Yogini Rome. Anyways, Sarah was talking, because we talk so much about, yes, you need to raise your frequency, right? And most people say, you can do it by meditating or being vegetarian or whatever, right? Those kind of things to your life, which I think does work and help. But she said, and I really resonated for me, is that changing your beliefs is what raises your frequency, your belief systems, your belief structures, So that was that just really resonated with me. And then one more last thing real quick, and then I'll let you say something here. And that is, a lot of these people that, like my channeler guests, will say everybody can channel or everybody can be psychic. And I just had someone the other day said, or if it wasn't today, it was within the last few days, it said, we're all psychic. It's just if you believe that you are, you have, or know that you are, but you are, we don't believe in it. And so if you go back a few weeks, and I had Dr. Jeff Tarrant on, the PhD psychologist that's studying how to be psychic, and he also said in his research that if you don't believe you're psychic, you will not be psychic. It's a filter within your own brain. So probably the same thing. Like if you don't believe you can channel, you're not going to do it. If you don't, all these non-beliefs is what kind of shut us down.
Well, I can tell you for sure that, this is not really, can't be a coincidence, right? That I would say, maybe if people have heard me say, you already know the dream language. You already know it. What happens is people get a dream in front of them, and what the difference is between me and a non-interpreter who's been doing this for a long time, they get a dream in front of them and they're like, what is that? And they just can't even believe that has meaning in it. Me, I'm the opposite. I know for a fact there's no way, could not have meaning for it, right? So part of it is having that faith in, okay, because then you begin to chew on it, or it just, sometimes it just comes and you begin to decode it. And I'm telling everybody, the dreams, you already know the language. Like the example I always use, you dreamed you're in a maze. Everybody knows, once I say it a lot, that's confusion about direction. That's what you would feel if you were in a maze. You got to go to the bathroom really bad. That's a feeling of urgency. It's a language, and we already know it. But most of us, we're rusty in it, which means our sense of intuition is rusty. So I wanted to also say really quick, Jeff, because it's a glorious matter, that what just going back one step to what you had said about identity. For me, this was the greatest spiritual transformation that I've had, was realizing, a simple way to put it is, I know by the grace of God, I'm not my body. I'm not Michael, right? I've gotten a new name. And what it is, the essence of it is simple enough for all of us to understand it. I used to think I was Michael, and then I realized I can't be. I have to be something more than that. And in that, I was resurrected. I was like, oh, wait, I'm a being who's in relationship to the creator, who's self-aware, because that's what we have as a gift here, right? That we all can say, I am, and we're self-aware creators. So we're in the image and likeness of God. And that's, like you said, the transformation of identity, the realization, is a type of resurrection. Sorry, we didn't end up talking about, we're talking about dreams much.
Yeah. And I got to run, Michael. I'm into overtime, and I still got two people waiting on me.
All right. It was a good show. It was good catching up. Maybe we'll talk next week.
All right. Have a great weekend.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, Michael. Sir Michael. And a big round of applause for Michael. All right, let's bring in Mr. Cake and see what he's up to. Will he have orbs with him is the question. Or will he be on the golf course? It's probably too late to be on the golf course. But, he's maybe hanging out at the country club at the golf course. No, he's not at the country club. Well,
use the force, Luke. Use the force. Well,
What?
I heard I had some competition earlier. Somebody was down here, and they didn't get a permit from me. They're supposed to go through me first. But
well, where no one's in competition.
no one can compete with me. I'm the #1 juggler on this show. Now I'll do some yoga and some other stuff like that. Show off my skills.
We've got the music going. We are juggling to the beat. Now,
I was gifted to do
now can you be Donald Trump?
We can do
Juggling.
all things new, folks. We can do it all. We can do number one, number two.
What might be interesting is if we can have you and Vicki at the same time doing juggling, dual juggles.
What Vicki under me? I got to go to India sometime and we will have a good chat there. I have a good statue there of Mary. Oh, Mary was training me, darling. It was wonderful when she was training me.
Well, let me ask you this. I was asking you this. When we're on the other side, do you think it's possible that we'll look back at this life and go, wow, all those coincidences really meant something, and it went right over our head?
Oh, you never know. I thought I was getting to the truth, but I asked for what the correct belief was, and they said there was none.
That nothing matters.
I said, give me the truth, darling. Give me the truth.
Nothing matters. It's just meaningless.
But I don't know. Nothing matters. They told me I wasn't doing what I wanted to do.
Well, I thought though that there is, but you said before that whatever you believe in, that's what's real. It's just your beliefs.
Well, I say nobody can really know for sure.
I don't know.
I thought I had the truth.
What is this hanging on the side of your? What are you hanging? What's hanging off the back of your head, to the side?
I'm tapped into my agent. Yeah.
Oh, maybe that's how you're tying that thing
Secret
around.
Agent, man. I say we all need a genie.
We need.
Oh, hey Al, how are you there? Put a little punch in my Arabian night.
You want 3 wishes?
Yeah, I said we all need a genie.
That would be
nice. Mine is like the mind jackers here. They took over my thoughts. So it's like I have somebody here, and they also put a filter on me. I said when I was trained to be a holy person, I couldn't say what I wanted to say. My voice was taken over.
I didn't. Can you tell us more about you when you were? I think that's the first time you said that I've known you that you were trained to be a holy person.
Yes, I say you have to want to do it though.
Right.
See, my life was wrecked, so I relied on spiritual things to get by. And they have all these qualities. I said, it's like there's something in us, an intelligence. I call it the greater mind, that knows everything we know and more. It's smarter than us. We can't fool it. It can fool us.
I have a request in the audience for you to do Robin Williams.
Oh, hey, Robin Williams. Well, hello there.
Can you do Mrs. Doubtfire?
Well, hello there.
It's like a combination. Doesn't she have a Scottish accent? It's like a combination of Robin Williams and Sean Connery.
And Sean Connery. I met Sean Connery once. She was wonderful. I met him on a golf cart. She said, just slap me a $5.
It's almost like Mrs. Doubtfire is almost like a female Sean Connery. Got to just raise him up.
She gets a little spicy now and then, Jeff. She's a little bit off her little rocker there, and she gets a little just spicy and throws things at people's heads. She doesn't like that. Yeah, I said I wanted to be more entertaining than Robin Williams. Wow. I said, give it to me. I said, give it to me, greater mind. Give me the power. I say nobody's in control of this. I had no clue that this was even possible.
Wow. How long have the mind jackers been with you?
Well, they're trying to help me, darling. They're trying. But it's like I can't self-motivate.
You can't?
No, I can't self-motivate. I need someone to help me.
Self-motivate. How
No,
would
I said
somebody
my life was
how
well,
would
my life was
somebody help
wrecked.
self-motivate you? Well, it wouldn't be self-motivating anymore. That
Well,
would
they would just help me do things. Otherwise, I'm just basically sitting here suffering away. No one can see how bad it is.
Well, you said that you're not living the life that you wanted to live, right?
No, my life was wrecked 19 years ago.
If you had the perfect life, what would it be like?
Well, I said, see, it's not a thing for me. For me, it's just, I just want to have a life that's worth living,
Huh?
where I'm not suffering and I'm put to use. I said, someone has to put me to use. If you have someone who's smart and talented,
That's you.
they shouldn't be just sitting in a room. Yeah, I said, learning juggling tricks or something like that. You could put me to use. And I said, whatever I do, I'm always going to try to be very good at it.
Right.
I'm
I
always going to try
wonder
to
what
improve
kind
it.
of job you could get in the entertainment field, even if it's a small job.
Yeah, I said I could do comedy,
Because,
I could do entertainment, but you could put me into work on solving bigger problems as well.
like, for example, you could do
Whatever it is.
like, what do they call those where like you do a singing telegram?
Singing telegram
See?
for you.
That's like
I
a
said they can,
small job where you'd go to someone's house and you could be Sean Connery, tell them happy
yeah, I could
birthday.
meet Sean Connery. I said they got to invite me to some of these parties here, and I can come in there and entertain everyone. Yeah, they taught me lessons too, and they won't let me say that one. But I said they could just move my head and move my eyes, and they could say that person there. So I was getting direction. So they, even right now, they can, like, remember how it was started off with the spirits moving me? It's like it slowly worked up from that. And eventually they're voice boxing me.
Voice boxing you?
Yeah, right now they just have a filter on me. So I said there's all these different levels of, they showed me about how our mind works, about our voices. Even our singing, darling, we can have a great singing voice.
Do you think
they can sing for you and make it easy for you? Like that, they can alter things.
Yeah.
There's this greater I call it greater intelligence.
Well, they appear to be blocking you from speaking sometimes, right?
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah, I noticed that. They don't want the secrets to come out. They don't want it flooding the internet there. That's another thing I can't self-promote either.
Yeah, that's true.
It's hard for me to do that.
Talked about that. I thought that you were forbidden to do that by Mother
No,
Mary.
it's like we have all these personality traits.
Do you think not being able to self-promote really stems from a limiting belief that you forgot about?
Well, in our society, they say everyone has to, after your life's wrecked, though, they'll say everyone has to just take responsibility for themselves. I said, then we should shut down the government. I said, the government, they side with bad people telling lies, and that's not good. I said, they don't want me to say too much about that, but too much about that. Other than
so
Forrest Gump, he's running again.
It's so funny when you said that.
Out of retirement to go run. He's going to be running for president. He's 85 years old now, but that's young for president, I heard.
When you said that in a regular voice, I thought Forrest Gump, and then you must have thought the same thing because all of a sudden,
yeah,
you went to Forrest.
I said I have like the ones I typically do.
Well, let me ask you this: did you see the new Beatles song? Have you listened to it? Now and then.
Man, I'm listening to a lot of Beatles songs. Paul, he's teaching me a lot. Man, so we're learning here.
Well, you got
no, we're not learning.
You have a new song out. They just put it out this week.
We're gonna put out a new song here soon. You'll see. It'll be great.
That would be great. You need to go watch. Have you seen the old? You probably have seen it at some point in your life. Have you ever seen the cartoon Yellow Submarine? The Beatles?
Yeah, and you know what? Yeah, I watched some of that. They had some of it here. We all live in a yellow submarine, a yellow submarine, a yellow
I would just
submarine.
wonder if you could, that would be a good place for you to catch all those voices. Like you've never,
Yeah,
you've never even attempted George Harrison yet.
How does he talk, man? You know, you got, those were actors playing them. They weren't the real guys doing it.
I didn't realize.
Because I say I'm doing a caricature. It's like Arnold Schwarzenegger. He doesn't act like this, but when he goes to California, he says, you got to put in a lot of consonant in there.
All right. Well, Stephen, I'm way past my bedtime here, and I'm in overtime, so I need to run to the next two people.
All right. All right. All right, you got to do what you got to do, man. And, have a great night, everyone.
All right.
And, you can always watch my videos, for the real spoilers,
That's true. We need, did anybody, I asked everybody to go watch your videos last week. Did you get a lot of views?
Oh yeah, there was some views.
All right. Well,
but like I said, I can't motivate myself to do anything. So
what do I have to do to motivate you?
I'm going to need someone to come in, man, and try to help me.
Well, I'm going to ask a favor again of all 259 of you are watching. If you can each, when this podcast is over, go to Stephen Cake YouTube channel and watch a video. You'll be doing me personally a favor. And put your YouTube channel in the comments so people can find it.
All right, mate. We'll see you all later, mate. Have a great night.
All right, Stephen. We love you. Have a great night.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye. Oh, he's gone already. It's fast. He beat me, yeah. All right, now Chris is back. Maybe he forgot something. He's coming back to visit us. We'll see what happened with Chris. Maybe he forgot to say something before he left.
Hello.
Hi, Chris.
Hey.
I gotta be quick with you. It's already in my overtime. What, did you forget to tell us something?
Yeah, all I wanted to say was the vanishing point that you'll see whenever you're practicing the infinite mind meditation, eventually that will vanish. It will seem like you're seeing the objects you're meditating on in a straight line, and you can only see to a certain extent. But the more practice you do, like that vanishing point will seem to just completely disappear.
So when you're meditating and you're wanting to see an object to infinity, as you start focusing on that, then the object will actually disappear.
Well, what I'm saying is, when you're looking at that object in a straight line, you can't. I mean, like you said before, we can't imagine infinity. We can't.
Right.
Right. So all you're doing is just practicing the how you feel about this visualization as much as you can, because it'll develop your senses. And then that horizon line out in the distance will disappear, because you'll become more in tune with infinity itself by doing all these practices. So many people have these stories and they're saying, they have a hard time explaining certain aspects of these higher perceptions, but using the infinite mind will give you a better sense of that.
All right. Well, everybody, what is the name of your YouTube channel again?
Infinite Day 369.
Infinite Day 369. If you want to see more about Chris's meditation techniques, take a look at his channel. All right, Chris, thank you so much. Have a great weekend, bud.
Yep. Take care.
Cheers. Bye. And a big round for Chris. And we got Sid Alexandria. I saw Sid in the chat. He said that I told him and visit me here. He might have been one of the people who emailed me. People email me, and sometimes I think it just will work out better if they are here than a full 1 hour podcast. So we'll check in and with Sid before we get going. And I'm almost finished here for the night. So Sid is my last guest. So if you want to be a guest, come back next week. Also, with all of you here, probably many of you saw the video with Tim Tactics from Gaia that's been on many episodes of Gaia TV. Tim and I talked about, well, really, he talked about that if we can get 1,000 people to a meditation, it changes reality. So usually there's about 200 to 300 people here. So I'm going to really, and we're already talking about next Saturday, we'll start with some sort of meditation, whatever he recommends. And maybe him and Sarah Breskman Cosme can lead it. And we can get 1,000 people here. So between the 300 or 200 to 300 that come here and maybe so if we get these, if we can bump it up to 1,000 people, then maybe we'll change reality. And so I'm gonna be trying to probably, I don't normally promote stuff like that, but I'm gonna try to probably promote it 2 or 3 times a week. I've got to get this all confirmed with him, and then I'll start promoting it, and then we can see what happens. And so maybe I mean, that video is seen over 20,000 times at least. So if we can get 1,000 people, shouldn't be that hard, but you never know. So we'll see, and hopefully him and or someone else can bring some guests to the table too, so we can make it to 1,000. I think it'll be real interesting. I don't know if Sid is here or not. Yeah, Maggie said do a short, and it's so interesting because I almost said that. I was thinking about maybe I'll do a short. Maybe I'll create one where he talks about it, and then I'll go back in and then edit me in there saying, okay, we're going to be doing it this Saturday, November 11th. And maybe it'll happen. That'll be pretty cool. That'll be awesome to finally get this up to 1,000 people, because I've been trying to grow this Saturday night live stream to 1,000 people at least. I think that would be amazing. And if you ever watch video gamers that see 5, 10, 20, 30,000 people in their live stream, it's amazing because the chat's just scrolling by. Sid, so you're here. I've let you in the room. It says you're here. You need to turn on your camera and your microphone, or at least your camera. I'm not sure why I have you in the room. So, anyways, and then I didn't talk about it, but next week, there she is. We're almost there. Next week, the following week, we have some other very prominent guests that are going to be on the program. Big names. So things are looking up for us. And I'll see if I can tell you some of those. Oh, she's gone. She was here. So real quick. The following week, Alan Steinfeld. I've had Alan on before. He's a UFO author, and he has the New Realities. Brad Olson. I don't know if you know Brad Olson. Suzanne Giesman. She's going to be coming up. As well as some others. Belinda Womack. I don't know. She keeps popping in and out. Big names. OMG Suzanne. Mara is the queen of JeffMara podcast. That is true, Luke. She is the queen. Luke, when are you going to come and join me? Because, you've been so good to us by promoting us, and you have your own channel from what I know. And we've seen you here for so long, it would be great to talk to you face to face. I wouldn't think so. Hello?
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Oh my goodness. I am not technically inclined
Well,
whatsoever.
you're here.
but
You made it. Welcome.
Awesome. I know you're like past your bedtime and all of that, but I wanted to at least hop on for a minute
Mm-hmm.
and say, yeah, I sent you a message over your website last week, so
Oh.
I'm not sure if you got it or
Maybe. Did I reply to you?
no, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not technically inclined, so I'm not really sure how the reply works.
I mean, it would just be like me emailing you. If you emailed me, I would have emailed you back. Maybe I didn't get it because, you know, it's interesting. People will send me, like someone just the other day from Instagram messaged me on Instagram and said, "Did you get my email?" And I said, "No, I didn't." And maybe my
Okay.
website has one email. And then if you look, like, it doesn't, I don't think it's in this one, but if you look in the regular daily videos, I post a different email. So I have two different emails, so I'm not sure which one you had on there, but you're here now.
Yeah. Well, there's so much that we could talk about. I feel like we would have a great conversation, but I have a YouTube channel too. I just have like 1,000 subscribers that have grown slowly but sort of steadily.
Good.
And I talk about like scientific spirituality. I'm into extraterrestrials, and I've had a couple experiences. But I do like Akashic record readings for people,
Mhm.
and just recently finally been able to dedicate one day a week to that. So I talk mainly about past lives and other star systems, and I like to clarify it using astrology. But I would love to like give you a reading maybe if you want one day.
Mhm. Well,
But
how are you
yeah,
able to access people's Akashic records?
great question. I have no clue. It just happens. I used to be more so into like kind of the classic mediumship stuff, like talking to deceased humans more so when I was in middle school and high school, which, you know, blew my mind at first, of course. And then as I got a little bit older, it started shifting more towards the cosmic stuff. I didn't used to believe in aliens, actually. I thought like, you know, maybe bacteria or something was on other planets, but I just didn't really think in other human looking life forms or intelligent life on other planets. And then I had a couple experiences that made me think, oh wow, so there's definitely hybrid beings between human and extraterrestrials, so therefore extraterrestrials must be real. And then it just kind of started shifting more to being able to tap into the past lives that other people have, usually on other planets, but also on Earth too. And I go through that process of like tapping into people's mainly past lives and also parallel lives, because then it helps me to understand more about them, and also just the basic astrology in general, because I'm really into that. I look at like Western, Vedic, Draconic. There's other forms of astrology too. Like I was very into Egyptian and Mayan and Celtic and stuff, but it's mainly the Western and Vedic that I look at, and that can tell me a lot about past lives too, actually. But I look at like fixed stars in astrology to see where different constellations and fixed stars line up. Like if you have, you know, a star in Orion's belt that's conjunct or opposite your sun or your moon in your birth chart. And that just kind of helps clarify my intuition and what I'm picking up on. But I find that a lot of people have had lives in like Orion and Lyra and these more popular star systems. They're really popular for a reason, because either they're more so active right now, or a lot of people have just had experiences with those beings or past life connections there. But yeah, I look at that, but it's more so about what you did in those systems. So it's common for a lot of people to have had lives there, but it's more so about who you were in those lives and what the soul archetype was.
Are
So that's
you
what I'm really into.
are you able to just sit here with somebody and give them a reading live? Because maybe we should, if you're up for it, maybe next week, so you can be here. We'll invite somebody else on the Zoom and you can give them a live reading.
Maybe I could. I'm really busy. I've been wanting to hop on for like a year, and it just so happened that this was kind of perfect timing this week. So maybe. I have a young son too. Thankfully, he's asleep already. It's 10:30 where I am, so he should be, but he not always is, and a lot of the times I'm tired as soon as he falls asleep. But maybe that would be super cool.
Well, before I run here, what is the name of your YouTube channel?
It's just called Sid Alexandria.
All right.
SYD space ALEXANDRIA.
Right. So if you guys want to check out Sid's content, pop on over to her channel and see what she's got going on over there. And you're welcome back anytime. You just kind of caught me at the end here, but maybe you can come back and tell us a little bit more next time.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I have an email too that's just sidalexandriaegypt@gmail.com.
All right. That's how you can contact her. Sid, thank you so much for coming and sharing with us. It was a pleasure meeting with you. And have a great rest of your weekend.
Thank you. You too.
All right.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And a big round of applause for Sid. All right, guys. Well, thank you guys so much for coming and sharing with us tonight and hanging out with us. Tomorrow's video is with the Reverend Honey Borden. She's a near-death experiencer and an ET contactee. So we get both ETs and near-death experience all in one video. Hope you guys will really enjoy it. And that's it. Thank you so much for coming and being with us. We love you guys. God bless you and good night.